All right, so let's get started. So today is the second session for getting started with ads. So the first one, I've already put the link into YouTube, for the YouTube link into the chat. So please have a look if you didn't catch us that time. That one we talked about, why you should be doing ads, what sort of markets you should be looking at, the pre-planning and so forth. So today I thought we'd go one next step, and I'll just delve a little bit deeper into ads with Facebook. All right, so first of all, I wanted to let you know about the stages of ads when you create them with Facebook. So this is something that they will talk to you about if you go and do the blueprint trading with them. They will step you through this as well. So they say that there's 3 stages of an ad. So the first stage is you physically going in, creating your ad, reviewing it, and then putting it in for publishing and for Facebook to actually say, yes, we're happy with that, and off you go to run your ad. So usually this only takes 24 hours. Actually, anytime I've ever done an ad, it's been no longer than, say, 4 hours before it's actually published live. So they do that. They don't actually physically check the content of your ad. They check the requirements of the ad. So they look at if there's anything that shouldn't have happened. They look at if you're trying to sell a product that you're not allowed to. They look at all that sort of thing. They don't physically look at the content. They will look at your budget and look at what the life of the ad is and so forth, and just say, they might come back to you with a suggestion saying, look, your ad spend doesn't quite match the parameters that you've put in, and then it's up to you. You don't have to put any more in, but they will suggest to put money. Of course they will. They'll always suggest to put more money in, of course. All right, then the second stage of your Facebook ad is the learning phase. Now, this is really important because all the data that you have physically put into your ad, so your demographics, the interest, everything to do with your person, basically, with your audience, where it's going, the type of ad, the placements of those ads, the content that you put into those ads, it'll look at all of that as a whole, and it will start to learn. So it will push those ads out to absolutely everywhere in the first instance, but then it will go, right, this particular ad, it starts to learn with the algorithms. It's going, right, we're getting better audience interaction here, we're getting better audience reach here, the ad is doing very well in this particular spot, and it learns. So what it then does, and this can take between 1 to 5 days, depending upon the depth and the information that's provided for the ad, right? So in this second stage, it could take only 2 days to actually learn, or 3 or 4 or 5. So it just depends, but it does what it needs to do. The algorithms have then learned exactly what it needs to for your ad to do well. And then where it then places it is because of the learning of that ad. So if you're, say for instance, you put in an ad that's got 3 different images and you're doing a bit of a test run, it will work out which image has actually done better and then place that one image that is doing well as the priority image, for instance. So, or it'll go, right, this market that you've told me to go to, this market is correct, and I'm going to place this ad in here a lot more. So it will learn in those first few days. Then after that, 5+ days, however long the life of your ad is, so if it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, then that's the rest of the stage of that last part of the ad. So even though it was learning in those first few days, it does continue to learn through the whole lot, but it's not as focused in that learning stage as what it is in that second point. So really important to know that, because we talked about the fact that we've also got boosted posts versus ads. So you've got 2 different ones that you can potentially work with. So your boosted posts is just that. So you're putting a bit of money behind a post that you've already done, whereas your ad is a separate ad, and it's not a post. It goes out in a separate area. You've got a lot more control, a lot more detail that you can put into it, whereas a boosted ad only gives you a certain amount of detail. It doesn't go right into the nitty-gritty side of things. So boosted posts are very good for short, sharp bursts of information that you don't necessarily need to get out there to a really huge variety of an audience, or it's not, it's just a nice short burst of information, basically. So They're the differences. So that's why I wanted to talk about these stages of the ads, because obviously if you're working with an ad, you want one that's going to be at least 2 weeks long, whereas a boosted post you could do for a few days. So there's your difference. So your ad, you really need to make it work for you. So minimum, I would recommend 2 weeks long and longer. Okay, so that's just to get that sort of part into it first for you. All right, so what makes a really good ad? So I think there's 5 points really, and if you get these 5 points right, your ad will kick goals no matter what. So of course, your number one is the image or the video that you're using within the ad. So it's got to be eye-catching. It's got to be that thumb-stopping moment. So remember, people are scrolling, they're going through their news feed pretty quickly, and you need to stop them in their tracks. So what is that image that's going to do that, or what is the video that's going to do that? So if it's an image, it's got to be clear. It's got to be really, it's got to be a wow factor image. If it's a video, short, sharp, and sweet. So no longer than 10 seconds. If you have to go longer, just be careful with it, because sometimes you will lose people. But generally 10-second videos in an ad is ideal. And again, really good content that's going to make them stop and want to watch it, okay? Number 2 is your short and sweet post. So the text itself, so the caption. So the part at the top there, again, very short, straight to the point, something that's going to grab their attention. So the image or the video has done its job and made them stop. So now give them the crux of the information in the caption. So don't try and do a long-winded story or anything like that. Just give them exactly what they need to hear, keep it interesting, and then that's it. Because again, you've got to give them that opportunity to be able to actually stop on the ad and read it if you want them to read it. Now, number 3 is the headline, which is that first little bit of information that sits underneath the visual that you can see there. So again, an even shorter headline that's even more engaging is better. So something that's going to catch their attention. So it could be, you know, if it's a competition, it could be win, or it could be, this one's got ghastly. So I don't know if that would stop me, but anyway. But still, give something that's a very quick, brief heading that will, again, give them some more information without having to click through to the next step. Then underneath that, you've got a link description. So you've got the opportunity, and you haven't got much room here, by the way. It's about 30 characters at best. So very short, sharp headlines and link descriptions need to go in here. So this one is, you know, like this one says, click here to buy tickets, or it could be, you know, buy now, or win, you know, $10,000, or whatever the case may be. So very short, sharp, and sweet link descriptions that will take them through. And then, of course, one of the most important things is your call to action. So what is it that you want them to do? So this one's got buy tickets. You can have learn more, watch video, shop now. And there's about a dozen of them, I believe, off the top of my head, that you can choose from. So anything like that, that's all a call to action. But at the end of the day, you want them to physically do something and click through to do whatever it is that you wanted them to do. So really important that you get your call to action down right as well. You can even send them to Messenger. You can, if you want them to have a discussion with you. So we talked about last week chatbots on Messenger, for instance. So you could send your ad with a call to action through the Messenger, and then have a chatbot that starts the process of the sale or the video they have to watch, or whatever the case may be. So that's a pretty advanced ad for a lot of us, but that is the potential that you've got that you can do there. So you can have your ads working for you, but also doing other things in Facebook back end at the same time. So lots of things that could be going on. So they're my 5 top tips anyway for a good ad. Okay, so now the other thing that you can do is sequence your ads. So you've got the opportunity to hit them at varying stages. Now, this has been upset a little bit with the Apple update that they just did recently, where now people can opt out of getting retargeted ads and so forth, and actually getting hit with ads. So this has changed the field a little bit. It has happened. And, you know, we are starting to see it now with ads and retargeting and so forth. But you don't have to do retargeting, by the way. So your ads will still work. If you're not doing retargeting, it won't be too highly effective. But if you do want to do retargeting, there are some additional steps that you will need to do, which I won't get into today. But this is just a suggestion about how you can sequence your ad. So your first one, for instance, you could have an ad set out there that's got a video in it, and it's an awareness driving ad. So this one is just giving people the information about your business. It's showcasing something spectacular or something special. And that ad is doing its background work for you and just showing that ad and driving awareness. You can still drive them to your website, no problem. But this one's more about awareness raising more than anything and getting that traffic moving. Your ad set 2 could be a carousel ad. So you might have 3 or 4 images within your ad that it sits on a carousel. You could have other ads. There's obviously lots of other ad varieties that you've got, but this one could just be sitting there. And it's going to start driving a little bit more consideration for your business. So it's going to drive people to go, oh, I remember seeing that video. Now you're telling me something else, and I'm really starting to get interested now. So we're starting to push them along, okay? And then your last set, your ad set, is your conversion ad. This is one where you're really hitting home and you're actually saying, book now. Now, this one is where I would have normally said, this is where you would do your retargeting. And you could say, everybody who visited your website from ad set 1 and ad set 2, retarget this conversion ad to those people. So you've set the scene with 1 and 2, and now you're going, well, they haven't booked me yet, or they haven't done something with me yet. So I'm going to push this ad in front of them again, but this one's going to really hit them with a conversion, hopefully. So that would have been the way you could have done it before with retargeting. And I'm saying that you could still do that, but with the Apple update, it has sort of swayed that a little bit. And there is information. Actually, I'll give you a link. I will put a link into the chat room of a really good article that explains this really well and what you need to do to fix all of these issues with the Apple update. So I'll put that in there for you now, so you've got that. So have a look at that, because that will take you through the steps that you need to do to actually help you through that retargeting scene, okay? And especially with Apple iPhone users. So not everybody is an Apple iPhone user, yes, but it is the vast majority. So we just have to be careful what we're doing there. So this sequence of ads will give you a really good opportunity to tell your story. So you can really set the scene about, you know, from ad set 1 through to 2 through to 3. And basically what you're doing is you're telling a very simple story about your business. So by the end of it, you've hopefully converted them into a sale or whatever that call to action is for your business. So that's just a way of actually approaching your ads. There's nothing to stop you from just doing an ad here and an ad there. You don't have to do a sequence. It just depends on what you want to get out of your ads. If you remember back to the part 1 of this session, we talked about the objective, and it's really important to know what that objective is. Don't just do an ad because Susan said to do an ad. I think I've said that multiple times. So make sure you look at it from the point of view of your business and your budget and everything like that. So look at that whole story. Don't just sit there and do it because I've shown you different ways of doing it, okay? All right. So from here, the same as last time, I want you to go and try and create your first ad. Have a look at it, monitor and respond, and then of course let us know how it goes for you, because we'd love to know. So whether it was good, whether it was bad, if you got sales, if you didn't, you know, if it didn't quite go right, you know, how could you fix it? Let us know. So we can then see how you're progressing as well, and we can see how your ads are going. So it'd be really good to hear from you. So you can use those forums. You can use the Facebook chat room or group room rather, so you can have questions or let us know how things have gone, so that we can then interact with you and talk to you about it as well and go, right, you know, maybe you could have tried this time, or, you know, we could give suggestions and so forth. But we'd love to hear how it goes and how it works. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful weekend. All right, bye.